Hey guys, this is Nathan. This is video diary 6, and it's about how to write a paper fast. So I'm just going to go right through it. I had to write a lot of papers for college. You will too, especially in this journey. You'll probably have to write a lot of papers for college no matter what. But when you're taking college and you're condensing it as much as I am in this project, then you'll have to write a lot of papers, sometimes relatively complicated papers and some really long papers, and you'll have to write them really fast because you'll have several papers due all at the same time. And if you're like me, you're also working a job on top of that and trying to do other stuff. So you have very little time to write a relatively solid paper of several pages or more. Or you have a bunch of discussion forum posts due. Anyway, just a lot of writing to get done in a very condensed time to do it. So I kind of stole this method from Pat Flynn from several years ago when he was talking about writing a book, and I use this method in order to write my book. I wrote a book. It's called The Fundamentals of Sales, and you can find it on Amazon. It's pretty good. I would add a lot to it now. It was, my freshman attempt, I think is what they call it, my very first attempt. But it's pretty good. I think it really does cover the fundamentals. But anyway, so I used that. I used this trick to sort of write my book. And I don't know if I would call it a trick, but this is just a method. And I really like the method. So here's the method. One, you start with your thesis, and you don't have to have it perfectly set up, right? So just the basic thesis. So in this case, the thesis for this video is how to write a paper really fast. That's it. That's the whole thesis. And then you immediately jump to your conclusion. What is it that you want to conclude from that statement? How to write a paper really fast. And then the end is, that's how you write a paper really fast. So apparently from the start to the end, somewhere in between there, I have already clearly outlined what it is that I need, as far as content, what I need to put in there. I need to give you the steps for writing a paper really fast. So you start with your thesis, and then you jump all the way down to your conclusion. You write those two things, and they don't have to be well thought out or anything like that. Just an idea, and then another idea, and that's where you want to start, and that's where you want to end. Then go ahead and bullet point out quickly the points you'd like to make in between those things, sort of in order to bridge that gap. So in this case, I said I want to make a video about writing your papers really fast, and there you go. Those are the steps for writing a paper really fast. And then I said, okay, now I have to outline the steps. So I outlined the steps. So go ahead and just outline those. Again, you're not you're not writing them comprehensively. You're not perfecting sentences or anything like that. It's not about that. So this is just creating your outline. It's just generic. Take 5-10 minutes, whatever. Don't stress about it. Just jot it down and you're good. Then once you have the outline, I want you to record yourself talking through the outline, the whole thing from start to finish. And so what this is going to do is actually create your rough draft. Don't be afraid to go off topic, to tangent, to do whatever comes to your mind, right? So as you're talking through this thing, just be, say whatever comes to mind. Right now, I don't have it written down that I'm supposed to be talking about this part in particular. All I wrote down was don't care about mistakes. That's all I wrote down. But now I'm kind of going on for 10 or 15 or 20, 30 seconds about what that might look like. So this is a case. This is a case of not caring about my mistakes. I'm kind of tangenting, and that's all right. This is content for what's going to be there. In this case, I'm not going to edit this video, but I would edit my paper, and here's how. So I would record myself doing this, talking through the outline. I don't necessarily record in video all the time. Sometimes I do. But I at least record the audio, and then that's my rough draft. And then when I transpose that onto a paper, so I listen to it myself, and I transpose what I wrote onto a paper, and I sort of naturally edit that while I'm writing. So while I'm listening, I'll play a little bit and then pause it and then write some, and then play a little bit more and pause it and write some. And I sort of naturally take, I remember what I was talking about, and I kind of repeated myself there, so I won't repeat myself when I write it down, and etc. Well, you sort of naturally edit what you said into your paper. And so that effectively becomes your second draft. So I have a rule I call 3 and ship it. So you are able to do something, you're able to do something and then edit that thing and then edit it again. That's your 3 times, and then you have to ship it. And so you make the outline, then you record it. Sorry, I had some brown rice stuck in my teeth. You make the outline, you record it. That's your rough draft. Then you transpose it. That's your second draft. And then I want you to walk away from it for a little bit and then come back to it and edit it. So spend a little time editing it, really go through it and say, like I need to rephrase this or whatever, but I don't want you to do major edits. Like you've kind of gotten it, you're good. So do simple edits, rephrase things or whatever, but try not to do whole idea shifting. And then that's pretty much it. And then you're done. And that's that. And so far I've written, several dozen papers like this now. Normally to write about 1,200 words, the whole process takes me about 45 minutes. So I would consider myself a fairly solid writer in general, and I feel like I've had a lot of practice. So this might take a little longer for some of you. For some of you it might be even shorter. For some of you it might be easier to sit down and bang out 15 minutes in a paper, and you just feel comfortable doing that, and so that works great for you personally. If I start writing, I edit while I'm creative, and that means that things take me a really long time, and I sort of conceptualize while I'm writing, and it means that writing something very simple that's like 1,200 pages that I just need to knock out and get submitted ends up taking me several hours, and I'm not really happy with it, and I come back and edit it again. So anyway, I needed some way to get this done fast, and also to have something that I felt solid about, and so this is that method, and that is the method for my conclusion. And if you're curious, this is my outline for this. It's backwards in the video, and I don't have like a mirror or anything that I can, but this is the outline. So you can see that I started here, and then I wrote this down, and then I filled it in, and now it's this video. So there you go. That's how to write a paper really fast. Yeah.